Hello, thank you for joining the New York Immigration Coalition's Understanding City Government in New York City video. This video is part of a series of civic engagement videos that we're hoping to share with you. We would like to thank the New York City Council and the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development for sponsoring this video. My name is Bonnie, and I will be your facilitator today. In this video, we will be focusing on New York City, learning what the city government does, and how the decisions impact us. We'll also be touching on who makes the decisions in city government and how we can get involved. First, let's review the three levels of government that we're all a part of. We have the federal government, that's for the entire country of the United States. We have state government, that's one for each of the 50 states. So for us, that's New York State. And finally, we have city government, of which we'll be focusing on New York City today. We might be wondering why we need city government in the first place. With more than 8 million New Yorkers living in the 5 boroughs, it's important to recognize that we all have different wants and needs. So we have the city government to represent us and decide what's needed so the city can run effectively. City government is also more focused on the day-to-day in comparison to the federal government or the state government. And we have a stronger chance of influencing what happens in city government. How does city government impact us more than the state or federal government? City government determines our quality of life, how we live and work. We come across city services all the time. For example, sanitation. When our sanitation workers don't have a chance to pick up our recyclables, we notice. We also have our parks. City government determines which neighborhoods have parks and how clean they are. The city also makes sure that trees are maintained so branches don't fall on us on a very windy day. The city decides parking regulations and bike lane access. We also call the city when we make noise complaints, not the state or federal government. City government determines funding for our schools and after-school programs. Remember free pre-kindergarten programs for all children in the 5 boroughs? That's the city at work. So we know the city provides these services, but what else does city government do? The 3 main goals of city government is to, 1, represent New Yorkers. Because we're a city of 8 million people, we have elected officials who are tasked with making decisions on behalf of us, the people who live here. City government also manages the services we need. 2, protect New Yorkers. The city government manages the services we need, and they also monitor it. It's important that we express our concerns or voice any issues if there's a city service we are not satisfied with, because someone in city government will investigate. We also have parts of city government that introduce and propose new laws. We have new laws that relate to current changes. For example, city government passed a law allowing restaurants to provide outdoor dining, which started during the COVID-19 pandemic to be a permanent change. 3, make a budget. The taxes we pay help our city work, but determining how much money should be given to each city service is a difficult task, especially with millions of residents using these services. City government takes on this role of making a budget for us, organizing where taxes should go. Who makes the decisions? There are a number of people who make the decisions about how the city functions. We have 3 main decision makers who we often see on television. The mayor is the leader of the city's priorities, determining what the most important issues are for the city to address. The mayor is the person we see when something happens in our city, who make sure that our streets are clear after a snowstorm. The mayor also hires people that will lead our health, school, and policing systems. The city comptroller advises and oversees the city's billion-dollar budget and finances. The comptroller also audits city services to make sure that the city's money is spent lawfully. The public advocate is the voice of residents. The public advocate reviews our grievances and complaints of city services, businesses, and landlords. We also have decision makers specific to our boroughs because each borough is large enough to be its own city. Each borough has their own borough president. Borough presidents review new residential development applications to see whether it makes sense for it to be placed in the borough. They also provide millions of funds for projects and services in the borough. Borough presidents also choose who they want to serve on specific borough-based committees and citywide commissions. Each borough also has their own district attorney. District attorneys investigate violations of New York law within their borough. District attorneys also each determine the approach to how they prosecute within their boroughs. There are 51 city council members, one for each district. Each city council member represents multiple neighborhoods within the city. We have one city council member who represents us based on where we live. The city council is responsible for approving the city's budget and passing laws to improve the city and its operations. Each city council member also proposes new laws for the city and votes on whether these new laws are passed. Some city council members are also part of committees that focus on a specific issue, like education. Most city council meetings are open to the public, so we can join if we choose to, though these meetings are mostly in downtown Manhattan. Check out the New York City Council website to find your local council member. Each council member has a constituent office to help resolve neighborhood issues and navigate other branches of government. Each borough also has multiple community boards, totaling 59 community boards in the city. We have one community board we are part of based on where we live. Make sure that if you live in Brooklyn, you find Brooklyn Community Board number 1, because there is a Community Board number 1 in each borough. Community boards address the quality of life issues in our neighborhoods. For example, community boards determine if a restaurant in your neighborhood will receive a liquor license they applied for. People are selected to be on the community board by the borough president. Most community boards have at least one meeting each month. Some community boards have committees that focus on a specific issue, like transportation. All community board meetings are open to the public, so we can join if we choose to. We are also the decision makers. One way residents act as decision makers is when we vote, choosing who we want to serve us. At the city level, voters choose who they want as their mayor, city comptroller, and public advocate. Within our boroughs, we choose who we want as our borough president and district attorney. In our neighborhoods, we choose who we want as our city council member. We've explored how the decisions of city government impact our daily lives and the city services we use. One takeaway is that city government is meant to serve us. As residents of the 5 boroughs, we choose who we want to represent us and our interests. We can become involved in deciding how our city works in many ways. Beyond voting, there's also a lot more we can do to be engaged in our city and our community. We can continue to learn more by finding out who our elected officials are. We can also learn about and connect with existing efforts in our community by researching what community groups and organizations are doing work in our neighborhood. We can also learn about what's happening in our community by attending community board meetings and town halls. When we feel ready for action, we can sign petitions that align with our values. We can also get involved with and support local mutual aid groups, community-based organizations, civic associations, parent-teacher associations, and tenant associations. We can also attend or organize rallies and protests. We can share our thoughts and opinions on changes in our community by contacting our elected officials by email, phone, and/or social media. We can also attend city council hearings and share testimony. Thank you so much for joining us in our video today. We hope this was a helpful video. Thank you to the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development and the New York City Council for sponsoring this video. We would also like to thank the New York City Civic Engagement Commission, the Chinese American Planning Council, the Center for Urban Pedagogy, and Elect NYC for their materials that made this presentation so informative. For more information, please see our website at nyic.org.